type 2 diabetes is up. I was going to talk about this. I'm dropping knowledge, but it doesn't matter. But type 2 diabetes is up 700%.
Jesus Christ.
Since 1960.
My papa has that.
Non-alcohol related fatty liver disease, which was only what alcoholics had,
right,
is now prevalent in children in epidemic proportions. I mean, Americans and people in Western countries have it in the tens of millions, where people are having metabolic diseases like this, all because what's fascinating is Sam Harris did an amazing podcast on this with Gary Taubes. We cannot agree on how to eat, but we know one thing. There's a lot of money in sugar and a lot of money in sort of simple carbohydrates.
Fast food, too. It's just, but that's what's easy, but that's also what's affordable.
Well, actually, though,
whose fault is that?
Also, actually, though, in fact, if you look at Michael Pollan stuff, that's not what's affordable. So if you were to eat simple foods, right? Carrots, sweet potato, broccoli, and apple.
That's not a meal, fellas.
You can't make money off that. Okay?
That's not a meal, though.
What do you mean it's not a meal?
Like apples, carrots.
No, I'm saying. So let me break it down. So a piece of chicken, or 2 eggs, an apple, and a sweet potato. Let's just for argument's sake. There's not a lot of money in that when you sell foods that way. So the food industry makes a lot of money by combining a lot of stuff. So they'll take yogurt, low-fat yogurt with lots of sugar, and it's got
fruit,
17 different ingredients. Right. So then when you do that, what happens is the way you sell things with low fat is you got to put a lot of sugar because they won't taste good.
Yep.
And so much of
it's cheaper way to do that, mass produce it.
Do you want to know what's interesting is, Herschel Walker.
Oh, yeah.
He ate 1 meal a day and still eats 1 meal a day.
Yeah, he's a genetic freak. Just the problem with these guys is they're such genetic freaks.
But when you say that,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I get so mad at all this.
No, I get that.
He's such a freak. Exercise is such a religion. He does 1 million push-ups a day. But I hear what you're saying.
What I'm saying is
that MMA at, what was he, 44, beating the shit out of guys?
He was 49. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was
one of the biggest freaks of all time.
Bring him up at his age now. Take a look at his body, because it's ridiculous.
What is amazing about him is that, look, he never lifted a weight, did push-ups and sit-ups, genuinely, which is the theory of yoga, right? Like, you have all the weight you need and everything to get all the strength that you need. Yeah. And he doesn't eat that much. And he said, and when I met him, I'm like, this. So why do you only eat one time a day? He just said, I just don't need that much food.
Yeah.
And your body, what's amazing about your body is how it adapts to whatever it is that you're putting into it.
Yeah.
The question is when you start putting stuff into it that it can't overcome.
That'd be him at that's Herschel Walker. Now, again, we have to be careful when you take these extreme athletes, these complete freaks. Brian Callen probably wouldn't follow that protocol necessarily. There are probably things to learn from a guy like that, but he's already such a genetic. You know this.
But I agree. There's takeaways you can do from it. Like, I used to, when growing up, my family just didn't know any better. It's like breakfast is the most important meal. Sugars. Oatmeal, brown sugar, then you got to have a snack, then you need lunch, and then you got to have a big dinner. You need your potatoes, you need your fat, cheese and all that stuff. Candy was all right, soda's all right. And then, as you get older, you get more educated. Now I'm around 2 meals a day. Like, I fast all morning. I don't eat till 1. If you would have done that to me in high school, I would have been like, you're crazy.
Right.
And my body, it takes a while for it to adapt. But we're conditioned 3 meals a day, breakfast the biggest one, the food pyramid, which is complete bullshit. But it's just more of educating people. Now, I'm not saying eat once a day and you're going to end up like Herschel Walker.
That's him when he's older.
Right.
How he got more shredded from 50, from 21
to 50.
So think about this, though.
So
think about this in terms of what you are conditioning your body for. And I did this. I've done this recently. I just gave up processed food. So, and by processed, I mean like clearly processed pastas
sugar and
stuff
things
that's
that
just
break
like
down.
like stuff that's just you look at it and you're like, I don't know if it's going to come out of me really easily.
I think the issue when you say processed, people go, well, what is that exactly? He's talking like fast food, cheeseburgers, like
bread and muffins and stuff that you look at, and in my brain I go, I don't know if it's going to get out of me. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to process this. Like that's my standard. What's amazing is when you look at the meals that you're actually being served and the size of the portions and the things that are in it, if you just say to yourself, I'm going to eat half of that. Like, I'm just going to eat half.
So tough to do, John.
I know, but if you were only given that, if you go to Europe and go to Italy, right, they're not giving you giant portions.
That's why I order triple.
Nice measured portions. Yeah. If you say to yourself, I'm only going to eat half that meal, When I go to a restaurant, I literally don't order because I'm like, I'm going to eat leftovers because nobody's going to finish all their meal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to eat whatever my kids don't eat. I'll eat. That is going to be fine. It's amazing how little you actually need to eat to stay healthy and stay functional as long as you're eating the right stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to live
how
off
much
of
you
cotton
train.
candy.
You don't eat actually a lot, which is amazing for a guy your size.
No, and you're giant. You're much bigger than I am, but you don't consume.
Well, he
I
eats the right
can, though.
way.
It's a struggle
Yeah.
every day.
right.
But you seem to have a pretty good handle on, because you had to kind of learn about it, right?
Yeah, I'd be curious with all these people you've interviewed, how many of them talking about diets and stuff? Because let's be real here, you're interviewing the 1% of 1%. Like Ray Lewis, all right. What's your routine, Ray? It's gonna be fucking tough for most people to relate to it.
Yeah,
that 6-year-old swimmer. Okay, I get it. You're 60, you can swim your balls off. You know,
Which
so
interesting.
it's tough. So I think regular people are like, all right, well,
So I'm not getting into any of the like diet or any of sort of like the routine because I'm looking for the moments that change.
That could be a moment, though.
It could be a moment, but
That might be
hasn't been.
maintenance or how they learn.
And exactly.
if you
that moment of
this
like,
might be too soon, but if you had Big Black on from Robin Big, and
Right.
if he was like, the moment for me is when I changed my diet. Oh, doesn't have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Guy just died. Shout out Big Black. Love that guy. You know what I'm saying? That could have been a huge moment for him.
it could have been.
Our boy Chin used to be 300 pounds. His moment could have been dropping the goddamn Korean barbecue. That would have
Right.
been a huge moment.
Right. When you look at what are those moments in life where everything changed, diet certainly could be one of them.
Probably rare, though.
Probably rare, right? That's probably not because there was something that led up to it.
There's something that got you to change your diet in the
Right.
first place. There's something that kind of
as an
yeah.
as an example in my own life, you know, I was the meathead in the gym when I was 27 years old. So I was bench pressing in decline and fly, just crazy weight, and I looked like I looked like a pyramid.
Yeah, you mean being awesome, John.
I was a total like
blonde and awesome.
I had like little skinny legs, but I could lift a ton of weight when I was 27. But I then said to myself, you know what? I wonder if I can run a mile. I'm just curious. And I tried to run a mile. I couldn't. I weighed 198 pounds. I'm 5'8".
Yeah.
I was like almost at 200 pounds. I'm like, oh my God, I'm almost 200 pounds. I'm really strong. Why?
For people who don't know John's an extremist. Like he's an extremist. I gave him a shake.
All or nothing?
I gave him a shake to you. This guy was on the national speed skating team, and he's a nutritionist, and he's really smart. And this shake was really awesome. It was like almond butter. You put like maybe half a banana. You put some green powder. You put some protein powder. It was a good shake. And I prescribed it to John because I said, dude, this thing works for me, man. Yeah, I gotta try this out. And he calls me and he goes, I'm getting gas. I have a lot of gas. I go, well, why? He goes, what are you putting in it? He goes, no, just what you told me. I go, well, how much are you drinking? Knowing him. And he goes, well, I put 3 bananas. I take half a jar.
Just too
literally an entire
gallon.
blender.
You're drinking
a gallon.
gallons,
I was
man.
like, hey, cut it
shake.
down. How about one fucking glass, you an extremist?
So I do things. Lizzie, my wife, refers to me as just one speed. I'm either on or off.
unbelievable.
As an example,
good.
with health, when I was almost 200 pounds, it was 198. I never got to 200. And I literally said, no more lifting ever. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break the 5-minute mile. And I was 27. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna break the 5-minute mile because I can't complete a mile. And in high school, when I ran the mile, I never broke 5 minutes. It was so lame. And I'm like, God, I'm gonna do it. I tracked down my old high school track coach and said, I'm going to train to break the 5-minute mile just because I lost 47 pounds and ran a 4:55.
Jesus.
That's John. That's you.